Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Hope, a show that shines the light on people who are making a difference in our world. And today I am delighted to be joined by a team of people that I know from my business arrangements, however, from a group called Meraki. And it is just amazing, not only what they're doing for the holistic integrative practice, but we just had the most fabulous conversation about being working moms, and we're all at different stages of that. And I wanted just to go ahead and jump in and start this conversation rolling. I want to first start by introducing Micaela Milano from Meraki Integrative. Micaela, who are you and what inspired you to start this amazing business?
Oh, Lois, first of all, thank you for having us. It means a lot. Thank you. And I guess this is my time to speak, right? I'm only here because of the team that's with me, and I couldn't be doing this on my own. My inspiration behind starting Meraki really came from a early onset passion to learn more about the root cause of what was happening in my body. And that started for me when I was a teenager, battling some of my own health crises. And as I grew and was evolving into adulthood, I had experience with many more functional practitioners, wellness practitioners from a variety of backgrounds. And I always felt like there was something missing. And that something was that they were looking at still only one aspect of what was happening within my body. They weren't looking at the mind, body, soul connection. They weren't looking at the big picture of perhaps past traumas, working on such issues as maybe what was taking place in my gut and hormonally, right? That all helped, but only got me so far. So I'd say the reason and intention behind starting Meraki is to bring customized concierge care on a mind, body, soul level to each individual. And so we're doing that with a team of specialists, again, with a wide variety of backgrounds. So we have a functional medicine approach where we bring in the minds and the hearts of each one of these individuals to treatment plan and create a specific roadmap for each person. And we also are in the functional corporate wellness space. So that's pretty new for us, but very exciting because we're able to bring these wellness services and this mindset and the heart and soul behind what we're doing to businesses within our footprint, especially in New York City. So that's Meraki, and that was the intention.
And can you explain what does Meraki mean?
So Meraki is a Greek derived word, and it's a passion word. It's about putting your soul and creativity into all that you do. And I just thought it was a beautiful meaning because we are doing exactly that in every patient care process that takes place.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing. And I'm delighted to shine the light on you and your business. And you've got a really close associate that is near and dear to both of our hearts. So I'm going to spotlight Miss Z. Z, can you tell us how did you get involved in this Meraki initiative?
Thank you so much, Lois. Yes, I mean, I love every single one of you. So excited to be here on this podcast with you. Micaela is literally, a soul sister. She is a friend that I've known for a little over 5 years. I met through I heard about Micaela from a Seraphim Blueprint class.
Okay.
And I heard about a foundation that Micaela runs called Metatron's Miracles. Just the name that it was Metatron had me at, hello. And Metatron's Miracles helps people who have been in very hard situations, such as like sexually trafficked and women and children with lots of issues, addiction, helping rehab them once we grab them, once we get them. And just hearing about Micaela and that aspect, I knew that she was my people. And I wanted to be really part of her and what she did. As a metaphysical hypnotist and energy healer, I actually started working with Meraki as their on-site hypnotist and energy healer a few years back. And as Meraki started changing and becoming more functional wellness, Micaela asked me to step in and work with her to bring that function closer to, the forefront and to help her, because of my 30 years in corporate America background, help her run the day-to-day, being able to see both sides of a corporate workspace and functional medicine.
Well, wonderful. I know that you're so dedicated to what you do, and you definitely bring that energy and zest to Meraki. So that's wonderful. Thank you for being here, Zane.
Oh, thank you, Lois.
And Sharon is here. I've known Sharon for several years now, and she is new to Meraki. So Sharon, tell us a little bit about how you came to be interested in Meraki and what it is how you intend to offer your amazing skills there.
Well, I mostly went to the Meraki, the verbiage underneath their symbol, radiate from the inside out. I mean, that is my expression on health. I came to Meraki because I met Z through you, Lois. Mm-hmm. And beautiful, lovely woman with energy and goals that were just so in line with mine on health. And my husband and I are personal trainers. We own a personal training company called Urban Pump in Colorado, and we stress strength training. So Z and I were talking at the hypnosis training we had with you, and we were having this conversation over some very lovely tea that one of our friends made for us. And she was talking about what I do and why we do it, and how our program's different from other fitness trainings. And so I was telling her, and she invited me to meet Micaela and talk with her about being part of their system, their program for unique health, for what's going on with somebody. And it's all individualized, which is what we do. And it was just a great fit. So Greg and I are so excited to help them and work with their clients. And it just gives me God bumps about the whole thing. So that's what we're doing. That's our next step. And it's all online. So you don't have to come in and see us, which makes it available for everybody. I mean, such an amazing, I think it's the new tier in the health system, honestly. So that's why.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
I can be a testimony to the work that Sharon and Greg do. And I have worked with Greg online, and he got me stronger than I have ever been. As much as I'm a dancer type, that's what my body loves. And yet he introduced me to strength training using the bands and things like that, and weights. And it really has made a difference. I'm also an avid gardener. And so doing the strength training, and their secret is 20 minutes twice a week. It's not like you've got to spend hours and hours in the gym to get strong. And it made a huge difference in how I could dig in my gardens. It gave me the strength to be able to perform, to be able to bend over, to dig, to move, to be able to lift and work more effectively in my gardens at my age. So I highly recommend Urban Pump and their online training with Greg and Sharon. So it's a wonderful fit, and I'm so glad that you guys found each other.
We're really excited as well, because we do see them for our individual, to be working with them for our individual clients, but with our corporate wellness, our functional corporate wellness, we really see them being the team to go to for that with us. So it really aligns. Micaela's vision for that just really is who we are. It's not, we're attracting the team, right, Micaela? We're not like, people are finding us.
They're finding us, and it's about an alignment. And you said it. It's not simply finding a strength trainer. It's not simply finding a holistic dietitian or a health coach. It's finding that energy and that purpose and intention behind the person that's leading that role, and the willingness for them to be receptive to work within the team, and really that level of care that is far beyond concierge. It comes from the heart. There's a lot of corporations that are continuing to do these buyouts in the healthcare space, the dental space, the gym space, we see it across the board. And so I do full-heartedly believe that that's what will also help Meraki stand out, is that we are not part of a big corporate conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you offer quite a few different options for holistic healing. What are some of the different things? So we've got the strength training and the hypnosis and energy work. What else do you offer, and what else does Meraki offer?
Sure. So Meraki does customized care the best, and that would start from advanced diagnostic testing. So,
Okay.
for example, the gut panels that we review have 30 pages of data, 30 pages of markers and information just on somebody's gut microbiome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, we look at the advanced data so we can help come up with a very intuitive and detailed plan for the person. Now, if somebody doesn't want to go through the process of doing the blood work, doing the additional panels, and say they just want to come in and they want to start with an IV, we do offer IV therapy. And if they have blood work, we're going to add what the person needs instead of just giving a bag to give a bag. We do have very cutting edge longevity treatments. So anything from ozonation therapy with the UV light. So we actually extract some of the blood out, put it into a saline bag, and it runs through a UV sterilization process and becomes ozonated. And what happens is that actually changes the oxidation of the blood. So it's cleansing the blood and putting it back into body. So it helps with everything from inflammation to brain fog to healing. So, you know, that we do exosome IVs, hair restoration, holistic fillers for the face. We do joint and muscle repair, but this is it's all naturally derived from the person's blood. So we do a process called PRF, which is platelet-rich fibrin. It's a certain part of the blood that's spun in a centrifuge and extracted to use as incense stem cell type of injection to an area, right? So we have patients that come in, get one treatment in their shoulder, their knee, for example, that's been aching them. They don't have mobility. After one injection, they're out the door, full range mobility.
So that's different than a cortisone injection.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no side effects. There's no side effects to cortisone as there would be with cortisone.
I see.
And there's nothing foreign going into your body either, which is huge, right? Yesterday, just as a testimonial, I took a video from Micaela and the team. I had an almost 80-year-old woman who had a shoulder issue, and they did a PRF treatment on her yesterday. And she was literally like about to throw a baseball after. She's like, I haven't had this much mobility in years. She's like, that was one treatment.
That is amazing.
Yeah, one treatment. It's pretty incredible to watch people live happy without pain, without, it's what we do. We're here of service, right? In our life. And when you see someone walk out with a smile and say, wow, like I lived all that way for what?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Wow. And so how do you discern what different people get? Is it based on the blood panel, or do you have like somebody who triages your clients?
Sure. So we will meet the person where they're at, for lack of a better saying. If you came in, Lois, to Meraki's center and you said, you know what, I'm interested in some longevity treatments.
I see.
We have those, right? We could give an IV treatment and we can help you with some longevity therapies. If you said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I've tried everything. My metabolism's out of whack. I have high glucose. I'm getting headaches. I have fatigue. I'm not sleeping. We say, look, let's sit down. Let's talk about what's happening within the body. And based on what you're telling us, we're going to have a clinician that's going to recommend what advanced tests are done. So we do look at extensive blood work. However, we will also look at other tests that can include a complete hormone panel that shows metabolites, for example. So it's not just with the serum, it's with the saliva, it's with the urine. So we see how the body's creating hormones, as well as the cascade and where there's blockages within the cascade of hormones and what's not being converted and utilized within the body. So we do in-depth looks into hormone therapy. We provide bioidentical hormone therapy, and we do offer peptide therapy. Again, it's all done with information and data. So we're not just throwing medication and an injection at a person for sake of saying, this is what we hear and this is what the research says and it's good. No, we want to see what is happening within the person's body. And as we all know, the emotional component and the mindset is huge. So now we're talking about emotion, we're talking about mindset, we're teaching them, like with Sharon and her team, how to eat, how to strength train, right? How to be more mindful, how to add in those quick muscle, because muscle is the currency of longevity from what I hear. So everybody needs to be building muscle, right? And so if it's made attainable by doing these very specific type of workouts that Sharon is bringing in, then, that's something that they can quickly work towards and obtaining those goals. So it's really comprehensive approach. And so to answer your question, we meet the person where they're at. We can give a one-off treatment, or we can say, let's look at it all. Let's do a deep dive.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so you've got a whole team of people that are working with your clients. How do your clients find you? Just through things like this, but how are you reaching out to clients? Because you've got a wonderful center in the heart of New York City, which is fabulous. However, you also have an online presence.
We do. So we're leaning into the social media. We're doing a lot more activity online, as well as, we've turned off some ads recently, but it looks like we're going to get back into running some ads, but they need to be done with plan of location, for geo-targeting, maybe around our office. But aside from running ads, we lean into our existing patient base, referrals. We have a lot of patient referrals that come from practitioners that are either on our team or outside of our team. And so it is referral based. And as we're bringing in more of the corporate clients, those are also creating opportunities to treat, say, the corporate level executives that are also needing services, over and beyond what the corporate wellness traditional model looks like. Those are the most stressed out, overworked, high cortisol individuals you can find on the planet when you're talking about executives in New York City. So
New York City, yes, but you're talking to a team of people who live in the corporate world, right?
All of us.
Corporate and have branched out into our own holistic practice. I was speaking with somebody yesterday who had left a corporate job, went and was out of work for a period of time, went back into the corporate job. Now he's looking to branch out again. And once you've been on your own, it is so hard to go back into that shoe, to try and fit into that corporate shoe, because it is so stressful. So what would you like the corporate execs to know about how your business, the integrative medicine approach can help them with?
Z, I would love for you. Oh, I'm sorry, Sharon, to cut you off, but I'd love Z for you to jump in. I think you'd be really
sure. I mean, I was going to jump in after. Okay. I mean, I think what we actually do, and I think this ties into when I do my work with you guys, right, as well, Lois, not just Meraki, is root cause, finding the why. So, people who are having their stress, their burnouts, their corporate America, like, what am I doing? It's literally speaking to that executive. What was your why? What do you feel? What is your purpose? Maybe this is what you were meant to do, but then I get a lot of doctors, dentists. I do executive coaching as well. So when I get people that are like, okay, well, what's your why? I remember just even this one tax accountant. I'm like, but you understand that what you're doing is what you're meant to do. You're meant to be of service, and you're helping someone with the one word that no one wants to hear, tax. And so when I'm able to actually, I do hypnosis sessions day one with my clients, and having that conversation with him and having him literally changing and shifting perspective, he actually went back to work and said, I haven't felt this good about what I do in years. And so it's remembering the root cause for everything. Why are you here? Why did you choose this? If this is no longer what you choose, let's get you into the right pattern. But it's mindset is everything. It's turning and saying, okay, well, this isn't working. And what's your perspective on it? Switching perspective and showing that, wow, you have it so much better than people do. And you might have just lost your way. So shining that light a little, it's been huge in what we do. And again, like that ties into my energy work, and it ties into Meraki. It's the root cause of everything. And it's wonderful. And it's been, I take them through 6 steps normally. And the 6 steps start from, where they are. So meeting them where they are, letting them see life in the stages. If they live their perfect life, what was their heaven? What is their idea of heaven here? And that's what we do with Meraki as well. And then having the gratitude and switching the perspective. And then at the end, it's like, okay, well, what's your give back for all of this? And it's taking them through the steps. Game changer. Mm. Game changer.
So what can a client expect so you just named it, like a 6-step process that you do. That's something that most of your clients, patients, are they called clients or patients at Meraki?
Interchangeable, I think, right, Micaela? Because I think there's some are clients and some are patients. Well, I think that they come in, right? And I think that a lot of times people don't know, because sometimes people are like, what is hypnosis? Like they'll, are you hypnotizing me right now? What is energy work? So there's so much taboo. No, we're just relaxing you. Mm-hmm. We're just putting you in a state. And then, I explain what hypnosis feels like, and the whole think of driving a car and not knowing where you are. And all of a sudden you get there. That's your relaxed mind. So I explain the subconscious versus the conscious. But I think that people that come in are pretty receptive to it. Mm-hmm. Right, Micaela, right? Don't you feel that too? Like they're ready for a change, and they know, what you're missing something. You just don't know what that something is. That mm-hmm. And that's what I think comes in. And we have we have people that come in for one thing, and then they end up doing an entire package and saying, oh my gosh, mm-hmm. We needed the mindset. We didn't know we needed the mindset. We needed the functional nutritionist, and we didn't realize what functional nutrition was. Mm-hmm. But it really starts with coming in and speaking to our staff, realizing that we do care about the individual and the person. It's not there just to say, hey, we're going to throw a whole bunch of things and see what sticks. Right. It's that level of care from the moment you walk in. And I think that's the difference.
And how do you help them discern between the root cause being physical, emotional, energetic, mental, in order to help them affect a change? How do you help the clients discern?
I think a lot of it starts with that dialogue of what is happening within the person's body. What's their urgent need? What's that big burning reason that they're there, whether it's on the phone or in person? Mm-hmm. Why are they interested to learn more about how we can help them? And I think them understanding that we care, number one, is most important. Some folks are not as receptive or aware of energy work. So sometimes meeting people where they are with more of I don't want to say maybe cerebral or a less esoteric type of air about them. Let's just say they like the data, right? A lot of people want to see data. Unless they see the data, they're not going to believe it. It has to be right in front of them on paper. So, meeting that person where they are, we will get them better by working on a particular area of the body through, diagnostics and nutrition and the supplementation and all the other actual tangible work, right? The weightlifting and the eating. However, that last little bit might be when they come to us and say, you know what, I feel like I'm 75, 80% there, but there's something else I'm missing. And in the meantime, we've been talking about the mindset, the energy work all along the way. So that seed is already planted. Sure. So I think it's really about, again, meeting the person where they are, and instead of trying to shove an ideology on them that, hey, you know what, from what I understand, your childhood's pretty effed up. So, we can start with nutrition, but that's not all that you need. Maybe that's in the back of our mind, right? Because we've all been doing this work. We're still on this journey ourselves. So we empathize with those that we recognize it because we've been in that suffering stage. So maybe we know it. We just can't say it so freely yet. So eventually we get to that point that we could handhold them to do a little bit more. They're more receptive.
Developing a relationship with your clients, patients come to you, and it is a relationship. So it's a holistic practice. It's not. It's like you become their medical provider or their holistic provider I don't want to say, although you are doing medical based procedures, but it's an integrative medicine approach. And so people would come there first, maybe before and definitely there is a place for allopathic medicine and having to go. And if you got to have surgery or something like that. However, it sounds as if what you're offering is more the holistic approach, the integrative, the how can I help my body? What can I do to help my body be the best it can be? And so your team is there to help provide information, coaching, and the data as to what, where the breakdowns are. So I love it. It sounds like it's like a team that's going to be there to support the holistic wellness of the individual. Is that correct?
Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
You need to be our spokesperson, Lois.
I've been through this many times, and I am an advocate of spokesperson for holistic wellness. We definitely have to take charge and ownership of our body. What do you see is the future of Meraki Integrative Wellness? What does your future vision look like?
I would. Aziz looking at me saying,
I
okay,
am.
Micaela, are you
like,
chiming in?
I'm waiting for you. I'll chime in after.
We are very aligned, Z and I, in that here we are today, right? In that we are providing a service to meet the person where they're at, to get to the root cause. We say we're root cause physicians and experts, whatever that root is, right? Energetically, physically, whatever, emotionally, right? We're looking at the root. We're root cause physicians and experts. Now, if we look at the evolution of Meraki, it's going to be multiple locations, perhaps with different specialties, also branching exponentially into the functional corporate wellness space, because that's a niche that's a niche. It's once they feel it and they see it and they experience the difference of how we're doing what we're doing, we're going to put a whole new level of understanding and awareness around nutrition and wellness, but with a functional approach for corporations and businesses. So that's beautiful. And that's more of, next couple of years, that's Meraki. But at least leading into our nonprofit is where Z and I at least talk about wanting to spend a good bulk of our time down the road, is more on the nonprofit with Metatron Miracles, bringing in, even merging our organizations, but being able to bring the same level of care, but to those who can't financially afford it, possibly don't have a corporation and a business that they're working with, that they're falling under this corporate wellness model. So, helping those that have been most, hurt and traumatized, if you will, that's really where our hearts are.
Beautiful.
And I'd love to just chime in and say, I think that what Meraki does so well, and, Lois, I work with your team, our team as well, with the light workers that I love so much, is what we all do is we help people who feel like they had nowhere to turn. They have nowhere, they know that things weren't working. They know that there was something, they didn't know what that thing again was. And helping people that had nowhere else to turn, whether it's spiritually, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally. That's where I think Meraki stands out. And that's where, Lois Herman and Associates stands out. And to be part of both of these teams where I'm able to help people on these levels, I have angel bumps talking to you right now saying that, like, as you know, we have a common clients because they came into Meraki that I've been working with. And I'm like, oh no, you need to see my energy clearing team. And so like being able to know that there's things that we can do and help, and know that there are people like us, women like us, that can see all sides and be able to help people that didn't know where to get help. Like I think that's the beauty of this, right? Like, and that's what I loved about my attraction to Micaela from the very beginning, was Metatron's Miracles, when I heard what that did. And so the goal is, get Meraki up because people need us and they don't know they need us, and then to work on the foundation. So yes, we're very much in alignment with all of that. And that's what makes it so easy, honestly, because Micaela and we're on the same wavelength for so much of it. I don't think we've had even a disagreement. Like, right. I think just because we are literally like, she's thinking something and texting me in the morning, and I'm literally writing the same text.
Mm-hmm.
It's
wonderful.
It's from God. It absolutely is.
Divinely inspired. And one of the things that I just wanted to reiterate what you're saying, Z, is this: it's the support of different modalities. Just like when we do an intake in our Lois, Harmon and Associates team, when we do an intake, we notice, okay, you really need to have some strength training. You need to have, I'm really big on the magnets. Meraki needs to investigate the biomagnetics.
We are actually, we have been. Yeah.
Amazing opportunity. Yeah. But also just, nutrition, because of the intake, I know that there's certain things that my team can provide. I love being a referrer. This is part of why I love doing this. I love to shine the light on other people who have a passion about what they do. And it's those that have the passion that are there to help others to heal in their specific arena. And it takes the whole team approach in order to affect a holistic wellness picture.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. And we do have a full intake process as well on our end. So yes, we do spiritual intakes, nutritional intakes, but we also do, before we say what tests, what lab work, Meraki actually also has their own inflammatory panels. So we know what we're already looking for based on like people, what their symptoms are. So male, female, hormonal, like we have our own panels that other people don't have, and our own testing. So yes, so it is our intake as well. So absolutely.
Beautiful. I'd like to ask each of you to give one simple shift example that our listeners can make today to support their own integrative healing journey. Sharon, what would you suggest? One simple thing that somebody could do to help with holistic healing?
Wow. I can't only think of only one.
Well, give several, your favorites.
Well,
you're probably going to say, but that's okay. You go for it.
Well, because of this podcast and Meraki is here with these lovely experts, there's so much confusion out there. People come in to see me and they have confusion about muscle and fat and nutrition and how to decrease your fat. And this is a place, a site you can go to with your questions, and maybe they will answer one of your questions, and you have all these experts that have been interviewed and figured out by Micaela and Z, and you can go to this one place with your questions and ask these experts. It's brilliant. And it cuts out all that weird stuff that comes in, from commercials and makes us confused on our own bodies and how they work. And it's amazing.
That's a wonderful.
So I would say it's that, cutting out the confusion of your own body, your own mind, your own spirit, and how they connect.
Beautiful. Beautiful. V, what are your thoughts?
Simple. I think that it would be starting with your day with intention, right? And we realize how important, as light workers, right, as energy healers, as we all are, intention. And I think that's the part, that the mindfulness that people are missing, going out and saying, today's going to be a wonderful day. I am feeling good. I am happy. I am abundant. Like putting out into the universe what you want, but then also being able to be receptive and say, I'm so grateful for getting these things. So intention and gratitude can shift anything. And we know that the more grateful we are, the more blessings we receive. And so I think those are two really important things, starting our days and realizing, God, we have We have so much to be grateful for, so much to be thankful for. And it's finding that in everything we do every day can really change how happily we live our lives. And how happily we live our lives is a direct correlation to how healthy we are, because there's less dis-ease in our body and our minds. That's what I would say.
100%. Love it, love it, love it. And Micaela, what are your thoughts?
That's beautiful answers, ladies. My mind, I'm going everything from start the morning with lemon water.
But that's important. Support the adrenals.
Lemon water, silver tea. That's right.
A little bit of Celtic sea salt for electrolytes. My mind is going in that direction. And I'm like, pause. Like, we've seen all that. There's videos out there in social media, and all that is correct too. It's all great information. I'd say also to lean on what the other ladies are saying, and to echo it a bit, is really where my heart is at. If I was to lean in with my heart, I'm feeling that a quick change, which may not be quick to change, but something that we could practice, is being more mindful in the moment of what's difficult. I always say attack the lack. And I talked to my 8-year-old about this when he's coming across something that's challenging within his homework. He is so brilliant and would much rather create a story in his mind and write about it and illustrate it than he does want to sit and have to read out the words, because he's struggling a little bit with his reading right now, right? He'd rather just create this idea. And I'm like, I love that, but we're going to attack the lack right now. Let's go with what's challenging, because that's where you're going to grow the most. And I think that goes for everything in life. Mm-hmm. Everything in life is about growth, constant evolution. And whether it's an eating habit that's challenging, whether it's leaning into exercise, whether it's leaning into more spiritual work, whether it's prayer, meditation, whatever it is that comes difficult, highlight that, acknowledge it, bring light to it, understand it, recognize it, love it, hug it, say, you know what, I'm stalling, I'm dragging my feet, I'm procrastinating about, this particular area. Maybe it's starting that wellness journey. Maybe it's learning more about what's going on in our body and actually getting the test done that we've been dreading to do, right? So whatever that thing is, lean into what that struggle is, and then find support for that area. And start off a new week, a new month, a new day, a new year with saying, you know what, I'm going to commit to attacking that lack and going after what it is that's challenging to me, because that's where the growth is going to continue to take place.
I love that.
I love that. Yes.
That truly, all of that totally resonates with me. One of the things that I would suggest, and I see Micaela doing this right now, being outside.
Yeah.
We're all online. We're all inside. Even in the winter, starting to get winter here in New England, it's starting to get cold. But even if I go outside and just breathe the fresh air and listen to the birds and the squirrels scampering around and the leaves rustling, there's something about the energy of nature that is a reset. Like you were saying, do something that changes. So getting yourself out of your create in your routine an escape from your routine. Yes. So getting up once an hour, moving your body, going outside, breathing that crisp, cold air, or if it's in the summertime, or people like Sharon will go out in her bare feet in the snow and ground.
Oh, that's bold. I love it.
So getting out.
And educating our children, like Micaela is talking about these interesting perspectives. Yeah. And I was walking my grandchildren to school a couple days ago, and crack it on for them. I can't believe these kids go to school at 7 a.m. This is unbelievable. Damn. But anyway, the sun's coming up, and I said, oh, good, we can sun gaze on the way to school. And my granddaughter looks at me and goes, what is sun gazing, Oma? So
that's so sweet.
Love it.
The fact that you had so much enjoyment about the sun coming up. They will always remember that, and they'll have excitement to see the sun too.
Yeah.
And I'd like to end with a little simple thing. about our children. We started our conversation before we started recording about our children. And so, Sharon, you're influencing your grands in a beautiful way. You're teaching them about spirituality. Your granddaughter actually did a whole recording on setting sacred space, and it's lovely.
Mm.
Teaching your grands all of the spiritual aspects and the holistic approach to life, which is so wonderful. Z, what do you feel like you're doing as you've got a mother of teenage type children? So we're all in different phases of motherhood.
Yeah.
So what would you advise mothers to, as a corporate mother and a mother as a busy mom, what would you advise?
I think it's really important to teach them that we have support, and that could be from, God, realizing that there is God, realizing that you have angels. I talk to my kids since they were born. They know that they notice that sacred space. They do their clearing of auras every time there's something not right. Which angel are you calling on today? I have a daughter who's in the Netherlands, and she's like, oh, Mom, I set sacred space. I called in Archangel Michael. I cleared the space. I violet flamed. The other one's like, yes, I'm doing all. So I love it because they're they know, growing up, they just thought I was the weird mom because their other friends weren't talking about these things. And, and it's funny because I'll speak to her at school and she'll say, Mom, people are here. So watch the weirdness. Okay. And I'm like,
Right.
so like I have to watch it, but then anything going on. Hey, Mom, they want to know, can you pencil right now for this? And are you pulling cards for them to ask the questions? So they know that there's so much more than the eye can see, and being intuitive and tapping in is something I taught them very young. I used to teach them to muscle test by doing the sway test, and then they teach all their friends in school.
Oh.
How to sway test.
I have a little sign that my husband actually gave to me. Having a weird mom builds character.
Oh, I love that.
But it's really letting them know, listen, we're all here, and you have to tap into the tools that you're given, the tools that I learned, that I'm like, here. Like, I've actually created a book that I've been writing just for my children. And it's all the things I've learned on a spiritual basis, spiritual level, that they can teach their children. And it's like almost like my grimoire just for the three of us. And they're really excited by that. I have no idea when I'm going to give it to them, but maybe at their wedding days. But it's something that I have been creating for them.
Your grandchild,
Yeah, exactly. It could be any of it. Like they practice a lot of it now. Even if they like to tell me I'm nuts, they know better.
They chose you. There's a whole philosophy that our children chose us. And I do believe, I know for myself, I have learned the most from my children, from what I needed to do for and with my children because of the struggles that they went through. I learned Reiki, I learned hypnosis, I learned energy clearing, all of it in order to help my children that were going through different struggles. And here I am doing and teaching all of this now, and it's all because of them. And even though they might say, my son would say, Mom, you're a weird mom, stay away from me with your weird stuff. He would be the one that would get me the Wayne Dyer book for Christmas, or the Green Virtue, angel cards. He, with a little glint in his eye, like, yeah, I know you, Mom.
Let me just, if I don't mind, I'd piggyback on that for a quick second. My daughter, my 14-year-old, has Bell's palsy, as we know, right? And, this is honestly her third bout with Bell's palsy. We just don't even know how it came back. And the first time she was 8, the second time she was 10, now she's 14. And the difference was, I think, like Micaela said before, is growth. It's evolving, finding the right people. Like, again, you don't know who you know or how they can help you. And both Micaela and Scott have helped me so much in ways that I didn't even know was possible. And Jenna, within a week, is better than she was in the past because of all the alternative therapies. So, they are guiding me, and this is what we do for our clients. Right. Exosome therapy, it's immunotherapy with exosomes, which is like stem cells. And being able to go to acupuncturists and chiropractors and putting the right supplements into her, that she's actually progressed more in a week than she had in a month previously. So it's finding these things and being able to say, look, it's not one way to handle something, and finding those difficult cases, because we are difficult cases as a family, so it worked.
Every single time it's layered learning. Okay, now what do I know that I can help, how that I can help facilitate healing more rapidly for her? And I'm going to piggyback on that. I just went to my biomagnetic specialist yesterday. She and I had another tick a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, "Oh, you've got a whole new strain of Borrelia in you." So she's treating me.
Oh no.
We got to start over with the Borrelia because she'd already cleared it, but it's a new strain because every tick is a dirty needle. And I asked her about Bell's palsy. She says that's a classic example or a classic symptom of a misdiagnosed or undiagnosed Lyme. So investigate the biomagnetic.
I've spoken to her. We've been messaging.
Yeah, definitely.
She's amazing. I actually said to Micaela, I think it's something that we should bring, which we've been talking about, was bringing this into the practice.
Absolutely.
So it's something we're going to be looking into. Yeah,
for sure. So, and Micaela, so I have adult children, and what I was saying is I was a corporate mom, a single mom that was the primary breadwinner. So I felt so much guilt for so many years at not being able to be the stay-at-home mom baking the cookies. And I would bring home the cookies, or we would, I don't even know how I did what I did, because I was able to provide them as much as I could the life as a mom. I didn't become a mom until my 30s. So I was, I cherished being a mother. And I now have a daughter who is a high-level corporate executive wearing my jackets and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's little mini me.
It's amazing.
So
beautiful.
Even though I felt guilty that I was not the stay-at-home mom, her path followed mine in a very similar way, different avenue. She is into IT development. So a different, although in my background, I was a pioneer in diagnostic imaging. She is a pioneer into the world of data analytics. So it's fascinating to watch her grow. And even though we have to work and provide for our children, we can see as they become adults how they grow as a result of our heart. It's not everything we physically do. It's what we share from our heart with them. Then again, my son also is very amazing to watch how they have grown into such incredible people. And that I feel fabulous about, even though I felt, by my mother's standards, I was not that stay-at-home, bake the cookies mom. I can make cookies at Christmas.
You know what? There's always a time when you're out of work, and it makes it that much sweeter, right? Absolutely. Because it's a treat. Because mom's not home all the time baking cookies.
That's right.
There's something to be said about holding those that time for special moments. And look, I believe our children don't listen to what they say. They watch what we do. They watch how we proceed in life. They watch how we engage with others. They watch how we deal with stress, how we manage our day-to-day, and our relationships with ourselves and our community and the world around us, and our drive. I mean, they pick up on all of this, right? We are teaching them by showing them this is how we proceed in life, and this is how we continue to, you were dealing and doing the best in your situation, and you provided, and your children will always look at that, and they're going to understand it more as they grow up and continue to get older and have their own children and say, oh, well, this is what mom was doing. And God bless her, because she not only raised us to be great humans, she went out there and she was making the money and she was paying for the roof over our heads. Like, they're proud of you.
And we even did Disney and, all these things that managed to get in there. And I think the most, for me as a mom, the most precious moment was when my son, who in his goth days, I had a wonderful older woman say, think of him at 25 and successful. So as a teenager, when he was dark and really struggling, think of him. And I kept in my mind 25 and successful. 30, he reached put his arm around me and said, Mom, thank you for putting up with me and for all that you did for me.
Oh,
It's like, whoa, that is what it's all about, right?
that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And
That's
you've
so
got the
incredible.
young ones. You have the little ones that are going through so many different things, Micaela.
So
And
much.
what
As they
advice
do.
to the young moms, the moms
Mm.
masters?
No, I really do well with a full spectrum cannabinoid. Find what keeps you calm and do your best to stay in. I have two boys. So, and then my husband's a fire sign and my stepson a fire sign, and they're all, it's either 8 years apart, 6 years apart. There's a lot of strong male energy in my life. And so I do my best to pray and keep balance and communicate and talk about feelings and how it is to, try to show them how to treat other people and be in that space of mindfulness about how we show up for others and our actions and how they impact other people. So I don't know if I have any words of wisdom. I just do my best to take the adaptogenics, if you will, that I need throughout the day and keep it centered.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. This was lovely. Thank you, ladies, for your insight, your perspective, and for doing what you do from the heart. So, Micaela, how can people find you? We'll put it all in the, in the text, but people can find Meraki Integrative Medicine, Integrative Wellness.
Yes, thank you. We are MerakiIntegrative.com.
Okay.
We are our handle is Meraki Integrative on all social platforms.
Okay.
And they are seeing you, they know you. So through yourself too, Lois.
Absolutely.
But we're so grateful to be here. So thank you for giving Meraki the spotlight and for us to share our passions and all that we do and how we're trying to show up and be of service to humanity.
And I think it's really important also as a holistic practitioner, professional, to let people know a little bit more about who we are so that they see our heart, so that they know that, we're moms and we all have struggles and we're all dealing with health issues and different types of crisis, and we support one another through it. That's the key. That's the key.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I like to tell everybody until next time.
Thank you all.
Stay positive and be the light in someone's day. We'll see you next time.
See
Bye.
you next time. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.